I almost died. I literally have been in my house for an hour now. I spent the night in the hospital. And I want to share that experience with you because I think we need to talk about the reality of being human and how things might shift for you if you were in a position of, let's just say, dire circumstances, and how our planet is actually in this situation and how all of it has amazing positive, let's just say, possibilities on results. Yes, positive results. Because guess what? I'm still sitting here in front of you. I didn't die. You ready to hear this? I think that you will enjoy this and you're going to get it, and I would love to hear your stories. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. As I speak to you, my throat hurts terribly. I have my coffee because it's probably the only thing that I'm going to be able to have for quite some time. The reason being that I was born with a very small passage, throat passage, down here. Now some people have this condition. It's not usual. I mean, it's quite rare, like everything else I have, the dilated pupils and all that other stuff. A lot of people have it further down. Mine's right here. Now, I've spent my whole life knowing that if I eat anything that's big at all, it can get lodged. So I've been very aware I can't even take a capsule of any kind. I have to open the capsule and put the powder in. Are you like this? Don't ever push the envelope on that. Once that baby gets lodged in there, you know, you either have to wait till it dissolves and hope you don't pass out before that happens, or you're in the hospital and you're going to hope that it isn't blocking your breathing passage versus just your throat down to your stomach. Well, I was eating kidney beans and rice from my Blue Zones kitchen diet. It's not really a diet, cookbook of people that live to be in their hundreds. So I've switched over to some things I wouldn't normally eat. But those red kidney beans, those black beans I should say, they're very small and they're soft. Somehow one of them got lodged here. That is the size of the opening of my throat. Now let me share something with you. The first thing I did, because I have experienced this before, was, can I breathe? Yes. So I didn't panic. As long as you can breathe, you're okay. You know that there's some option to get that out. And after about an hour, I realized it wasn't moving. Whatever it was staying there. So I opted to drive myself into the hospital. I didn't want to bother anybody. Are you like that? You know, sometimes we need to bother other people. This is where community comes in. When I checked in, they decided that they were going to have a procedure where they put, relaxants in you and hydrate you so that it will relax and hopefully just enough to pass it. That didn't happen. In fact, when I tried to drink water, it was so completely shut off that everything came back up. We had to go to surgery. Endoscopy is when they put a camera down and they look around and then they have to extract what's in there. The doctor opted to pull it out. Usually they push it through. He didn't want to do that because he didn't know what else is on the way down that could be even worse. So he pulled it completely out. He was absolutely floored that this red bean was blocking my entire passage. So while he was in there, he stretched my throat out. He asked for permission in advance. He said, is this something we can do if that's the case? Yes, please, because I've spent a lifetime, as I shared with him, with an obvious problem. So he stretched that out, and of course, it was about 3 a.m., so I had to spend the night at the hospital. St. Anthony's Hospital in St. Petersburg, the most amazing people, procedures, wonderful, thorough. It was loaded, but it was done, handled so well. What's the takeaway from this? And how does this apply to you, the planet? So I had a crisis situation, and as human beings, we constantly go through these this is what we came for. You're always tested with crisis situations. This is what our epidemics are doing for us. They really are. And all of the other things that happen will continually show up. Now, how did I handle it? I didn't panic. I went in there, I was a very good patient. And everybody else treated me well. And because they treated me well during this crisis, of course, they're trained to do that. But we should function as a society like that at all times. But because they handled me so well, it was actually a really positive experience. In fact, when I found out that not only they took it out, I got some answers to why I'm always choking on things, even if I chew things up teeny tiny. And then I got a solution. So this crisis allowed me to solve a problem that I would never have gone in and said, hey, can you go in and see if my, throat's a problem, let's stretch it out. And, I would not have done that, right? But because of this, not only did I survive, but I got the throat stretched. I have to go and get another procedure to stretch it even a little bit further because it's still quite small. But I got to spend the night in a semi-private room. The lady next to me was amazing, had beautiful conversations, and she's going to be okay. And I realized everything's about how we treat each other in all of these situations. And you could say, oh, I had this experience, and why is this happening to me? And that didn't even cross my mind. It was that a cause and effect. I know I have a small passage. I was being very, very careful. How that bean got down there, I don't know, but it's pretty tiny. So that tells me that something had to be resolved. So something has to be resolved. If there's an issue, that bean's going to get stuck, something's going to get stuck eventually, right? Our whole planet is operating this way. If we continue to do certain things and there's an issue, it eventually is going to come to a cataclysmic tipping point. That's where we are right now. So if we continue to pollute, and it's not congruent with, it's not in alignment with nature and all the positive things that require our planet to function a certain way, we're going to wipe out certain things, poison ourselves, and this will be the opportunity to change our entire lifestyle to become healthy. And these cataclysmic things happening are going to be in your face to do that. That's a positive thing. The being stuck in your throat this is inevitable. This was going to happen. No matter how careful you are, if you still have to eat, something at some point when your throat's this big is going to get stuck. This is your life in everything. I see patterns. If you guys want to come over, Breakthrough Fear is going to be way more expensive because I'm adding a staff and I'm going to do live and one-on-one coaching with you. So we're going to raise that price. You can actually take Breakthrough Fear right now for a very low price. I actually lose money on that. I'm serious about this. We have a lot of fees we pay to run these programs. This is a absolute, game changer for you when you understand why these things happen and how you can react to them. I teach you that because I want you to know that everything comes to you as a tipping point. So let's say you have relationship issues, and eventually, you get into some situation that's so abusive. And if you back everything, if you reverse engineer it, and we actually do that in Breakthrough Fear, you reverse engineer it, you have to realize that every decision you made along the way was not congruent and in alignment with a healthy relationship, and that you maybe turned your head the other way when red flags were up, or had children with somebody who was not treating you well. And so you kept going till the tipping point happened when you finally have to make a decision. Do I choke to death, or do I go in there and get help and have this thing extracted and open up my throat that was so literal? And so you can say this too, so why did that happen? And I thought, okay, if I was going to literally, and maybe this is what it is, maybe not, our interpretations have to be our own because no one knows your life or what you're going through. My interpretation was that I'm ready to go to the next stage in my life. I'm ready to go ahead and open up my voice. I'm ready to eliminate any obstacles in the way that have been there, that haven't really been much of a problem, but right now, it's an opportunity for me to open up, sorry, it's tough for me to sit here and talk to you, to open up and expand my voice. That's how I saw it. And the fact that I had this thing there that had to be corrected. So you can make up anything you want, but if you do have a situation in your life, ask what the message is. What's the message for me in this situation? You know, if you struggle with finances, I'm not believing that I'm that person who abundance flows to easily. Why? Because it happens for other people. It happens for people who are no more qualified or way less qualified than you. Have you ever seen these stories? Like, how did they do that? Because they went into state of being where abundance flows. It's a power that you wield. Everyone does. But you're not tapping into that power. Tap into your power. Come over and take that course. I'm showing you how to tap into your power. Same thing. All that pricing is going to change. So go in and take it now. This is... wow, this is June. Woo! June? Yeah. June. Coming into June. So what's the message in everything? It's like, I have opportunities. Landria just gave me an opportunity to take that course for a fraction of the price. I should do that now, right? If you really want to, it's been amazing for 5 stars. I want to show you that everything has great meaning and great purpose. Had to grab a coffee. I'm in a lot of pain right now. And you know what? Pain is the reminder that there's another option, right? I'm going to sit here for probably a couple days with this pain in my throat, refuse to take a bunch of medications I don't need. And they actually really respected that. You know, all those people at the hospital are like, they must be hearing that a lot. I don't need that. I don't need that. I did take the spray that kills the pain for a few hours. But my question to you is, what's happening in your life that's pain, that is a message that there's another option? Because there is. And it could be just your thinking. You could say, well, I don't have control over those people or that job or whatever. You always have an option. You always do. And the option is you have a choice to either see it differently, make a change in your own life, shift from, remember, we're no participation and zero tolerance, shift from tolerating things, abuses, all these things, to no participation and coming over here and saying, if you want to play me, if you want to play with me in my game, you must shift over into that frequency, because I'm no longer going to be in the one where I'm abused or I'm sad, or I have anxiety, or I'm never paid my worth, or people don't treat me of value, or they degrade me, or friends who are, you know, got to criticize you instead of saying you're amazing, you know. And so we don't have to argue with one another. I want you to understand, we can agree to disagree. We don't even have to have those discussions. I never discuss politics or religion because it's a dead-end conversation. And so my question to you is, what can you change today? Because everything that's happening in our lives, from our personal lives, because this is the first time I've experienced something like this in a very long time, where it's a real direct message. The last time was when I quit investment banking and started to do all of this stuff. My foot was killing me. I was going to have to go into surgery. It had been for years. I had a spontaneous healing. When I quit my investment banking job, position, career, it was my company, I had a spontaneous healing. My foot completely stopped hurting. I got up that morning. I remember when it happened, something was happening in that room that was very bizarre. And I could feel my foot being moved and manipulated. I was half asleep. I was like, what is going on? When I got up in the morning, instead of sheer pain shooting through my foot on the floor, I stepped on, and from that day, I have had zero pain. Zero. From me having a swelled up foot that I'd have to go into surgery because I was having some real issues. How does that happen? I shifted, not into another dimension, into another frequency. A frequency where there's no obstacles, nor thoughts that are, this is how things are, this is the way it should happen, or this is a problem. There were no thoughts at all. There was a total letting go. So these turning points are massive. Sorry, I just sneezed. These turning points are massive for us, absolutely massive. And if you don't get the message that, what about this do I not like, How do I change this? And what higher message do I have from it? Like I said, physical problem. Eventually I knew this was going to happen. I just knew it. Intuition, or made it happen, and then solved the problem. But what's the higher message? Why did it happen now instead of when I was younger? I've been having this issue since my teens. I mean, many, many times I've almost choked to death. What happened now is that I'm actually in transition with all of my businesses, taking it to the next level and opening up to create something really amazing for you guys. From LandriaOnkka.com to Digital Explorers. And we all have to up our game. And those who don't want to up their game, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people that just aren't going to participate anymore because they're not willing to take it to the next level. And that's okay. Not everyone's going to do that. And so we have to bless that and say, that's the path they choose. If they don't want to accelerate their spiritual growth and they're happy here, that's the experience that they want. And we, as awakened people, you're awakened, you're on my channel, you're in some process of that, it's not one space you go to, we'll recognize that all of us have our own thing that we came here for. Maybe they are super high awakened beings in a super high frequency, and they said, I'm going to come this time just to have fun. Maybe, right? And be a positive influence to everybody, but I don't have to be some teacher or some, big inventor or whatever. That's a super high frequency that changes the planet also. So we cannot bypass that. It's not always what we put some, big meaning to. So what can you do right now in your life and say, what is the blatant message? My voice is now open and the obstructions are gone. Because I have held back on a lot of things and I realized it's time to take the next level. And I held back not because my fears. There were no fears in that area. I break through those. They have no effect on me. However, I had to know that my audience was ready for this. And we are going into some very high-level advanced states of manifesting. Activate Your Magic is going to be out soon, at the end of June of 2022. I have 3 courses. So when you know your power and you break through your own obstacles and fears, then you can activate that magic because you have no barriers. And so we go into a completely different world. And so when things come, you understand them. You have no fears anymore about what those things are. I wasn't afraid. I actually, when I went to that hospital, thought, if I die, I'm totally at peace with that. Like, oh, I'm out of here. Must be my time. And I thought, and if not, I'll be really happy to come back to my beautiful place here on the beach. You have just about every amazing opportunity available to you, unlimited. As a human being, this is a role we chose. Celebrate it. Look at that other light being and say, there's another form of me. There's so much diversity. And so we have to step back, and when we find ourselves judging that, say, why am I judging that? Am I judging that person because other people that look like that person have done some things that were horrendous? And why did those people do those things? Where did that behavior come from? Because it isn't just some evil person. There is a reverse engineering that we have to do and say, other events from their grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents evolved into something that created those fears and their not feeling worthy and lack of love. It could be any person, any culture, any color, any education level, feeling stupid or below other people because you didn't come from money or an education level. I mean, these are amazing opportunities to be so grand. And those, to me, are the most optimal opportunities that you chose. So saying that you're at a disadvantage is the opposite of what the message is to you. Is we're going to give you something that has great spiritual growth potential and teachings for other people to show. Nothing holds me back. I'm not a label. Nobody tells me what I can and can't do or how I think, and I'm not going to argue that, but I'm going to demonstrate how amazing I can be. So if you go into Manifest Anything, I have a series where I take you through Tap Into Your Power, what that's about, break through fear, and then activate your magic. I then give you suggestions for healthy choices so you're not taking the drugs. I told them things that I was going to do here, including cider vinegar. They wanted to give me some drug because this is irritated now. I said, no, I'm going to do cider vinegar. It calms everything down. And you can do the same thing. I have pages and suggestions for all of that. I talk to you about ways for you to earn income online. And I'm going to launch Digital Explorers. And what are we going to do? We're going to come together as a community and share our ideas and collaborate. And if you want to be on my platform, you can showcase your products or services, even if you're an affiliate, promoting other people's stuff. As long as you do your homework and you are promoting things that abide by the criteria that I have, is no harm to animals, planets, or people. And we're going to do some amazing things. I'm going to have lessons on there for you, live coaching. It's a new world, and it's going to take some effort and some work. If you're not up for that, that's okay. But don't waste this opportunity to be amazing, because you already are. Demonstrate it, because we're changing the world just by our own thoughts, our own actions. And this is the year of action. I actually already know what 2023 is going to be. I named it. I'm not going to tell you yet. I think I'm going to wait till fall to announce what that year is. I name every year. And this was the year of action. The next one's very exciting. You're going to love it. So free videos for the online courses that I take. They've just changed the platform. They keep up in their game. It's really a lot of fun, so come on over. And then my free videos, please subscribe. Is it over here? I don't know where it is. You can't miss it, the big old red thing. And please share these, because if one person, not push it on them, but just share it or post it so people can read it if they want, and realize I'm not that human in the mirror. We're all, everything's an energy field, and everything has deep, intelligent meaning, including my little red kidney bean that got caught there. Totally got that. I got it, and I said, wow, yeah, I'm ready to open my voice further. I'm ready to move any obstructions and speak to the world. I'm already doing that, but you can always take it up a notch, right? So stay tuned for some very good stuff, and be ready to open up your mind to some very interesting thoughts that I have already shot videos on that, whoa, could be very cool for you. You are whole and perfect. How can you not be? You are of the one. How can you not be perfect? Loving. It's in you. Harmonious. That exists. Anything else is the illusion. Conflict's an illusion. Harmonious is what we are when we stop playing out the illusion and believing it. Loving, harmonious, and you're perfect. You're perfect. Everything is. It gets to play the illusion. You get to play the illusion. Make it amazing. Be the hero. You can change any role that you're playing. If you're the villain, you don't have to remain the villain. You can be the same person that decides to be the hero. So you don't change the character that you are. You change the actions of the character, the beliefs, all of it. It's possible. You can be anyone you want. You're ready for that? I send you blessings, my beautiful light being, and thank you for being on my channel. Thank you for sharing these, and thank you for taking action and being part of the change makers on this planet. Namaste.